951-371-1133. Again, 951-371-1133. Visit norcotransmission.com. Norco Transmission, your largest and most trusted transmission specialists. On the air because they care.
Indy's Demolition in Huntington Park encourages listeners to shop small business and buy local. Buying from small businesses improves the health of our local economy and our nation. Jobs are created, homes enjoy stability, and local businesses support one another. So, before visiting the mega chains and internet super warehouses, think local and invest in your hometown. That important community reminder is from Indy's Demolition. Call 323-835-6710 for Indy's Demolition in Huntington Park.
KCAA.
Maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip on this show, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kanye talk, formerly or now. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end. And if you've missed any of my 1,144 shows, but who's counting, then please do free subscribe on my YouTube channel, where you can not only just listen as you do on iHeartRadio and Spotify, you can actually see my guests and also my co-hosts. Today is another week of the soft launch of my newest series. Every Friday, you will be hearing The Review. Get it? Review. And we actually have the third co-host here today, and I'm so delighted to have him. Let me see if I can bring up his formal introduction, because wow, I was quite impressed. I had definitely heard about him through Angel, but he is a Billboard Top 40 recording artist, as seen on tour with Britney Spears. He has been a Grammy member since 2017, part of the voting member for Recording Academy. He was discovered by Michael Jackson, signed to his label on Sony, and later signed to Madonna's record label, Maverick Records. And the music behind the post promos that you've been seeing, that is a first for me, where I actually have the artist or the guest music behind the post is Ricky Rebel. So please welcome to my studio, guest and co-host of The Review, Ricky Rebel.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, Dr. Marissa.
And I'm so happy to have you. This is such a wonderful, auspicious occasion. This particular series is marking my 12th year on the air on camera. So it's May 1st, 2012 was my very first Virgin show. And 623 consecutive weeks later, we are still going strong. So I am delighted to have you. And we also have, you met her last week for the first time. She is the first co-host of The Review. She's the one. It was a funny thing. I got a message from her on social media. That's why I love social. Everybody that poo-poos it. It's a great way to connect. She asked me to be a person of interest in her magazine, and she is not just that, but more. And I'm just gonna. She was born in Hong Kong, and a Beverly Hills High School alum with an Ivy League computer science engineering degree from Columbia University and NYU MBA with Chinese University. She's 35-year veteran on Wall Street as a banker at Goldman Sachs, and worked the top 10 banks in the world with 5 licenses in 2 countries. Angel Men Chen is the CFO of We Are the Angels charity and the ambassador for Make-A-Wish Foundation, and CFO, photojournalist for the Hollywood Press Corps, that just came out with a beautiful article on yours truly. So welcome back to the studio, co-host Angel Men Chen.
Thank you.
Right, we are complete with the introductions. This
Oh,
is something that I've been doing for the last year. Before we get into the topic of the review,
mm,
I have breakfast with my co-hosts and guests, and what that entails. And with three of us, it should go fast. And we also have in my cashew gallery, as I fondly call it, instead of peanut gallery. One of the co-captains is Troy Pacelli, who has his own show on YouTube, and I know he's going to ask you to be a guest, Ricky. He's very busy, but when he saw Ricky Rebel was featured, he has to at least listen in. You're a breath of fresh air in entertainment. Isn't
thank you
that
so much, Troy.
lovely?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Yes. So what we do is 8 specific gratitudes at the top of the bun. So what are we grateful for that's outside of ourselves? Very quickly, one
I
word will
love
do it.
that.
And then at the bottom of the bun is what do I like about myself? So it's gratitude turned inside to model for the listeners and watchers that before you go to bed at night, instead of thinking about who done me wrong or what I didn't do or what I shouldn't
Mm,
have said, we need a little more effort in loving ourselves, approving of ourselves, getting over that critical voice in our head
mm,
so that we can stop looking for others to approve of us. Because frankly, my dear, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anybody else to? So that's why we do take a bite of my gratitude sandwich for breakfast. So here we
ah,
go. I am grateful for I get to go to the National Academy of Broadcasters this weekend in Las Vegas, thanks to my co-host Angel Chan. So I'm grateful for that. What are you grateful for, Ricky?
I am grateful for my beautiful family, my cats, my husband, my mother, my father. Uh, yeah, I love my
That's
family. Mhm.
that's great. So there's 5 right there. Angel, what are you grateful for?
Today, I'm very grateful to be alive. I have an enormous family and friends that support what I'm doing. And Dr. Marissa and Ricky, I'm very, very honored to be part of your inner circle.
Awesome. All right. Let's see if I think Troy's too busy today to do his gratitude. I'm grateful for my new sound engineer,
Oh,
JD, and I'm so excited to have him. This is his first Virgin voyage with me. So hopefully you won't get hurt. But I am always grateful to all the guys. They happen to all be guys at my station, KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, and celebrating 25 years, number one talk in the IE, and this is the number one talk on this show. So I'm so grateful that I continue to get the support there, and of course my station manager Mark Westwood, who I called this morning. Where is the no? So thank you to KCAA. And let's go to the bottom of the bun now, which is what do you like about yourself? What do you like about yourself? So I'll start. I
okay.
appreciate that I am loving. 88% of the time, I am
Mm,
loving because that's where I came from. That's where I'm going
mm,
when I die, is that little quantum field of love. So, what do
right.
you like about yourself, Ricky?
Oh, wow. So many things to choose from. Just kidding. Um, I like
Humility. That's good.
humility. Yeah. I like I like my fun side the most. I really like it when I allow myself to have fun, and yeah, that's my favorite side about myself.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Angel, what do you like about yourself?
Um, I'm very glad I'm able to connect people in a way that meets our goals. I think right now this is a perfect example of that, us being on the show. Very honored to Marissa to be a co-host and going to NAB 2024, as well as with Eddie Barber, who will be on next week, who's our Oscar and Emmy winner, who put us into contact with Todd Fisher at NAB, which is, of course, Hollywood legend Carrie Fisher's brother, as well as Eddie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds' child. So again, full circle, they are alumni of Beverly Hills High School, so that it's a separate connect. But I am very happy to get people notice and give a voice and a safe space for people to speak.
Yeah, beautiful. And I appreciate my ability to attract cool people. So that's definitely a positive thing that Angel was just talking about. And that's it for breakfast. Hopefully, you will spend a little time before you go to bed tonight not doing this, which I call MS, meaningless scrolling, but instead plug it in the other room and just take a breath and model what we just did here. What do you like about yourself? Because it's my BS, my belief system that the foundation of good mental health is self-love, self-care, self-soothing. So hopefully that's something that you'll do tonight as you continue on with your best weekend ever. All right. Thank you for joining us for breakfast. I promise that if you do this good life habit and hashtag discipline for the next 28 days, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way.
KCAA Radio, Loma Linda, where no listener is ever left behind.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
So I'm going to use one of my favorite introduction tools, which is I don't have an answering machine, Ricky. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So, Ricky, who are you and what do you want?
All right. Who I am is a possibility, of course, I invented for myself. I invented the possibility of being bold, expressive, and inspiring. Okay. What I love to do is I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to produce, I love fashion, I love to work with other people who are in those fields as well, who share the same passion that I have for that. I grew up listening to Madonna, Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Prince. They've all inspired me greatly in my work and also in my life. Madonna taught me to express myself and not repress myself. So I've taken that to heart in my life. And what I want, who are you? What do you want? That's the second question, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
you're doing great.
Okay,
great.
What do I want? I would, I think I'd love to tour the world. Right. I've already done it. I mean, I've toured twice with Aaron Carter. I toured with Britney Spears. Back in the day, I went to Japan 3 times on tour. And I love traveling. So I'm a Sagittarian at heart. So I love traveling. I love great food. But I love being on tour, but also being on tour for a purpose, right? Because I love to sing and perform. It's amazing to be able to sing and perform and get to see all the beautiful places and meet all the different types of cultures and the beautiful people around the world. That is number one for me.
That's great. That's great. So when you were a kid, probably you did know. A lot of my guests I had no idea I would be doing this, but I have a feeling that from a very young age, you kind of knew that you were going to be doing this. But take
Mhm.
me through that, at what point? At birth? Did you know? Did you come out dancing and singing? And
Yeah. I came out really flexible, to be honest. I was a very flexible child.
That's great.
I mean, I could do the splits
That's
like you
great.
would not believe. I would sleep in the splits. It was really
all
weird.
right, I
So
can
my parents,
visualize that.
and I remember dancing to Madonna's. No, actually, the first thing that inspired me was gymnasts. I saw the
Oh,
gymnasts
good.
like flying on the high bar and doing all these crazy,
Yeah.
flips and everything. And I thought I wanted my first dream was to fly. I'm like, mommy and
Wow.
daddy, I just want to fly. Isn't that interesting? So
That is very
Yeah.
interesting.
they put me, I think I had the same dream, honestly, but they put me
Wow.
into gymnastics and it was really amazing. It was highly competitive though. I reached really high in ranking, like 17th in the state of California. And they were prepping
Wow.
me to be in the Olympics.
Olympics.
It started to get really like uh, a lot of pressure, and it was starting not to be as much fun for me. So what happens is a lot of times they put gymnasts into dancing, like an easy transition, like ballet and jazz and hip hop. And I just started dancing, and all of a sudden there was this freedom. I wasn't being judged so critically. Gymnastics, the second you walk on the floor, they start deducting your score.
Right.
Or dance, it's just like if you mess up, you can make it a part of the dance. You could always take any mess up and make it cool if you're creative. But yeah, so I started dancing and discovered this amazing freedom in dance, and then that transpired into singing. They saw that I could sing as well, and I got an agent at a very young age. I think I started working professionally in movies and commercials around 11 years old.
Wow.
Wow,
Amazing.
11 years old. So was
Mm.
there no disrespect meant, but because uh, what's her? I'm horrible with names. When she talked about Jamie Lee Curtis, when she jokingly
Jamie Lee
said
Curtis.
Nepo baby. So did you have anybody in your family who was already in the industry?
No, no,
No.
I did not.
So what did
I
your
know.
parents say when you said, I want to be a singer dancer?
Well, they could see my talent right away when I was a child because I would sing along to like Annie and to
Of
Grease
course.
like constantly. It would play on rotation, and they heard that I was on pitch when I sang, whereas my brother, when he sang, he was not on pitch, you know. But they knew I had a gift right away, and I was grateful to have an amazing support group from my mother and father, but also from my grandma and my grandpa. They would take me to auditions every single day,
Great.
fighting the traffic because they believed in me so much. I'm gonna start crying right now, but yeah,
Oh, yay. I
We
yeah.
love it
believe
when my
in
kids
you.
cry because that means your heart's open. And I
Mm,
love heart to heart connections. So thank you for crying. Tears are
thank-
also the disinfectant that keep your heart soft.
well, I
So
missed my grandma and my grandpa. They
yeah,
really believed
they're
in me.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're loving
And I've
you for
always like, I just wanted to make them proud. Um, my mother and
and
father
they
as
are.
well. Mm,
And they are for
Ricky,
sure.
they are proud.
Yeah, for sure. I
They
mean,
are proud.
the success that you've already, I mean, to be discovered, tell me about that. That's like, what? Michael Jackson
Yeah.
discovers you.
Oh,
How?
yeah. When I was a kid, I was in a pop boy band called No Authority, and we were making demos. And there was this A&R representative from Sony who came to hear us sing in the studio. And he's like, I'm going to pass this record on to Michael. I'm like, okay. You know, it could have been
Michael
any
who?
Michael, right? Like,
Michael who?
yeah, so we're going to send it to Michael. Like, we're like, okay. Because at the time we didn't know. And
Right.
he came back to us. He said, they want to meet you. The record label of Greenberg wants to meet you. And Michael as well is he loves the record, And we're like, okay, great. Yeah. So you're going to MJJ Studios. MJJ,
MJ. The MJJ.
Michael
The-
Jackson. Yeah.
Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
yeah, Michael. He loves your
yeah,
record.
Michael.
I'm like, what? Are you kidding? This whole time it was Michael Jackson. He's like, yeah. I think he didn't want to freak us out.
How old were
So,
you?
I was 16.
Amazing.
Awesome.
At 16.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Britney Spears, another very not well-known name.
Right. Well, the Britney thing happened after we made an album with Sony. We made another record, and it kind of, I don't know if you've ever have heard of this, but sometimes they shelve a record. You know, they won't release it for some reason because they have other artists they're working on, and it was just taking forever for them to release this record. So Maverick Records, Madonna's record label, found out, and they're like, "Wow, we love this album. Can we buy it off you, Sony?" and get them on tour for Britney Spears. And I remember getting that call from our PR agent at the time. He's like, Ricky, Madonna's thinking of buying you guys out and putting you on tour with Britney Spears, but don't tell anyone. I almost lost my mind. When I tell you, because how much I love Michael, I mean, I love Madonna, like beyond imagination. This person, her work has inspired me so much, and her attitude, basically, because I grew up a very shy person.
What?
To this, yeah.
I know, really?
No, I grew up I was,
Like I'm shy.
You're right. You're a little shy. I mean, it's beautiful. Shy people are great. But I've had to learn how to be more, forceful angel. I love that about her. This strong masculine energy. Like I love that. And but I've had to learn how to be more like that in my life. So Madonna has definitely helped me achieve that. So when we found out that she wanted to sign us, it was a dream come true for sure.
Of course.
I bet. And if you just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio today, this is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my show central called the YouTube TV channel for Dr. Marissa Pay. And if you free subscribe there, you will get an alert every weekday morning to remind you to tune in to this show that balances out all the bad news with some good news and good people. And today in studio, I have three out of the four of the co-hosts for my new series every Friday morning from 9 to 10 in LA and beyond. Called The Review. And we are introducing the third co-host today. His name is Ricky Rebel, and I'm going to show a quick clip, if I can get this to show correctly. And in the meantime, thank you, AJ, for being here in my cashew gallery. You've got a fan, Ricky. This is the second time
AJ.
that's in the cashew gallery. AJ, the fun guy, is also looking forward to your new album that you can talk about in a little bit. Where, yeah. And JD, I'll take care of the breaks, and you just have some fun in the back studio. And at the end is the most important. All right, let's see. I am going to show the little clip of Ricky, and oh shoot, not yet. I just love technology. Here we go.
Ricky, just to remind a little pin on your L, just so you can throw that out about how you did on L and how they chose you. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of your fashion?
Yeah, I was voted one of the most outrageous outfits in Grammy red carpet history, along with David Bowie, Madonna. And that was in 2019 and also 2020 when I attended the Grammys.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And
So we're
gonna
going
be
to see your
next year,
outfit right now, right? In this clip?
In this clip, which clip are you presenting?
The one that I was asking
Oh.
for. Let's see which one's coming up.
Oh yeah, no, this is when I attended the Grammy Museum event, pop-up event.
All right. Well, it's trying to pop up now.
Just so you know, I'm live at the Sphere in Las Vegas. That's why I chose this location, because NAB is here. 46,000 people coming, including Dr. Marissa. So you'll be seeing us after that as well.
Amazing. Yeah, the clip is that you're gonna play. I was invited to the Grammy Museum launch of the first display devoted to K-pop, and it's called the Grammy Museum proudly presents KQ Entertainment, ATEEZ, and Exikers, a Recording Academy Grammy Museum pop-up, opening for a limited time from April 10th through June 10th. And I went there, and it was amazing. It's in downtown LA, gorgeous downtown LA. Well, not gorgeous, but inside the museum is gorgeous. Let me check myself.
Correct.
No,
Yes.
yeah. Inside is gorgeous because you get to see Michael Jackson's gloves. Oh my gosh, I almost lost my mind. And then the red jacket that he wore in Thriller, a few other of his costumes, and you walk in and there's like these amazing like K-pop fashion everywhere. I took some photos, I took some videos. It's all available on my Instagram account at Ricky Rebel Rocks. If you guys want to watch the video, I did like a whole review of it. It was amazing. I got to see Shakira, a lot of her amazing outfits. For me, it was about the fashion. That was really the coolest part of it, right? Seeing all their clothes that they wear on stage and up close and personal, really seeing the detail, all the sparkles and everything. It was just amazing. I got to listen to different mixes of songs, you know, kind of spliced out where you can hear the different layers of the music, which I love. So you can kind of get an idea of how they created the track. Yeah, we had an amazing time.
That's awesome.
So glad.
Yeah.
I just know that you are destined for the Grammy, the actual award. So let's just keep that in our radar, in our
that would be
line.
a dream come true. And I'm of course bringing both of you when we get nominated. We're gonna get nominated. We're gonna do it. We're gonna win.
Word.
We're not only gonna get nominated, we're gonna win.
I'm wiggling these very powerful fingers that always get me a parking spot.
Thank you, Lord.
Can we talk a little bit about your album coming up and your song in April?
Yes, I have a new track coming out April 19th.
Perfect.
Coming up
right around the corner.
Very, very soon.
Yeah. We're gonna call it FML. Those are the initials for it. The whole album I'm scheduled for it to come out in June. It's called Veronica.
Perfect. Let's talk about Veronica, Ricky.
Veronica is a beautiful album I've been working on. It's a little naughty, okay?
Oh.
But it's honest. That's where I'm at right now. I'm making this record, but there are some commercial pop songs on there as well for people who prefer that. But I wanted to do something authentic. I invented a character called Veronica, who I think is like in the back of my ether of characters in my mind that I have in my body. Like we all have, I feel like, different parts of ourselves. And she's definitely somebody who is a part of that ether, Veronica. So I was writing these songs in a perspective of a man who really is wanting this woman. And I kept writing this music and I didn't know what I was writing about. And then it came to me one time when I played it back to my friend. She's like, "Oh, you're trying to be straight?" And I'm like, "No, I like, actually, I'm singing about perspective of a man who loves Veronica, who wants Veronica." And she's like, "Oh, well, that makes sense." then all of a sudden it made sense, the whole record, what I was doing. So it's a really sexy album.
Mm,
I'm proud of it. And it's almost finished. I'm putting the final touches on it right now.
that's beautiful. Congratulations. That's
Congratulations.
very exciting.
Thank you.
We know you're a perfectionist, so we're really looking forward to the new music. I had the pleasure of seeing him perform live at Los Globos, which is one of the iconic musical venues in all of Los Angeles. And it was attended by great support staff, as well as just everybody on there was so professional, so on point, and I was so
Mm.
impressed that I had to write something. You can see all of Ricky's pages. It's just amazing. Just look at all this on YouTube. He's on Instagram. He's on all the social media platforms. His style and his presence is awe-inspiring. People stop in a room at the
Mhm.
Mondrian with him. People literally stop, which is just fantastic.
Yes, I
Thank
see
you.
it. Today News covered the Today Show covered you. E News. Yeah, are these the two outfits that got you the award?
The red one. The red one.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
Amazing.
stunning.
People
Now, did you
got
design
worldwide
these
attention.
yourself?
Excuse me?
Did you design these yourself?
No. Andre Soriano is the designer. He's made uh, incredible designs for tons of celebrities. And he and I see eye to eye on a lot of things like fashion, and also our views are very aligned with each other. We both appreciate freedom um, in all of its beautiful forms. So he approached me when I told him I was going to attend the Grammys. I said I really need something cool and great and something that expresses like who I am as an artist. So in order to make that red outfit, we listened to my music like on a loop. He's like, I just want to hear all your music while I'm making this to really get your
Wow.
spirit to put it into the the look. And so we came up with this fiery, beautiful ensemble. It's they're leather chaps. They're made from real leather, beautiful crocodile leather.
Mhm.
And
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. My
It
thank you.
is. It is. And is the blue and white one the other outfit?
Yeah, he also created that one as well. That one stirred a lot of controversy. Um, it was one of those worldwide news stories. I was voted the fourth most Googled Latino of 2019. Imagine all the Latinos that exist in the world. I was the fourth
Mhm.
most Googled
It's
Latino.
great. It's great. Your heritage, you should be so proud, your family and your culture that you represent. I always feel that when I travel, because I come from a certain background, but also I pick up a lot from everyone who has their own story because they have been through so many different cultures and so many experiences that make them who they are. Nobody's from one place anymore. I think everyone's just from Earth, and then they can take that and express who they want to be in the future.
So true. I didn't realize
Absolutely.
how much my heritage has informed me. And informed my experience. I realized when I was speaking to someone uh, very old in my family, Maria Felix is a part of my lineage. My middle name is Felix. I'm Ricky Felix Godinez, or Richard Felix Godinez, and her name is Maria Felix, and she was apparently one of the biggest actresses of all time in Mexico. She's like the Marilyn Monroe of Mexico, or yeah. So who knew?
You
But
have you have the blood, you have that, and that's obviously something that, you are using, and people are inspired, and people can continue to be inspired by your music and your fashion and your voice and what you want to be putting out there.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really
The
been
promoting
focusing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I say I'm really been focusing on what we were talking about, Dr. Marissa, about being grateful and really focusing on those things, focusing on what my strong suits are, not trying to get too locked into the chaos of social media and the world in general. You have to really be
Mhm.
focused and be grateful. And I'm in that path, so I know I'm on the right path, and I'm attracting
Ab-
people like Angel and you, Dr. Marissa, into
yep.
my life. So I know that that's the way to go for sure.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Diversity is one of those challenging topics because certainly no one wants to just be, oh, I remember being told, you're beautiful for an Asian woman kind of thing,
That's
you're a beautiful
terrible.
Asian. And it's like, well, can I just be beautiful and not, in that category? But at the same time, it is important to talk about, your heritage and your that yes, as Angel said earlier, we're all American in the sense that we've all come from a different place. The only people that are really American are Native Americans, who also don't get enough representation. So yes, we
Mm,
do need to have that so that kids can look up and see role models that look like them. So it's that tricky,
mm,
gray area that many Americans are not comfortable with. Many are, what's the Bible? How do I say something to not tick someone off? What's the term I should use? And I say when consulting in valuing diversity, I said you're missing the point. If you're looking for the Bible of terms, you're not going to find it because nobody's going to agree on it, and they change. And
mm,
you're missing the whole point of understanding the terms, which is respect. If you
Right.
want to show respect to diversity,
Yes.
then be curious about, oh, I wonder, what the way to show it. If you intend respect, you want to impact respect.
Right.
So instead of, what do you want to be called now?
right.
Yeah, oh, I see that there's a new letter in LBGTQA plus. What,
Wait.
tell me about that. And then also, if you're with a gay person, so what do gays want? And it's like, well, I'm speaking on behalf of, right? Same with what do Asian women want? Oh, yeah, I'll speak on behalf of the billion whatever.
Right.
So it's a tricky thing that if we just come from love, if we just come
Mm,
from, I want to make sure that my intent to be loving is impacting you in a loving way. And if it's not, then I, I can shift or not
right.
Right.
to it equalize my intent and my impact. Sorry, I'll get off the soapbox. But
No, but I love it.
But
Keep
we love
going.
it. We love it. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. We love the messaging. My background is mostly finance and politics. So
Mm,
I am, at every week do want to try to give financial advice to a lot of people because I do know a lot of people in their 10, let's say teens, 20s, 30s do not really understand how to succession plan for themselves, how to
mm,
buy a home, how to get a credit card, how to get a bank account. Those are not taught anywhere, not even by their own parents,
right.
because a lot
isn't
of
that
times their parents
incredible?
they don't even have a living trust or a will. By the time you're 18 and as an adult, even when you're a child, you should have one. These are
Mm,
very simple things that we can help you on. And this is complimentary. It's not something that I charge. It's just some people need to reach out to professionals who will help you and will make sure if you want a home, if you want a car, if you want a picket fence and two kids and put them in private school, need to understand that path if you're not haven't seen that path. A lot of parents who are immigrants came here with nothing, including my family.
right.
And you cannot see the generational wealth unless you have the appropriate mentors. And that's why I'm so
Mhm.
grateful this is a health and wealth sort of show and talk about what are important topical news that might affect people. And one of them is, this is an election year. Trump
Hmm.
is in the news.
Hmm.
Monday's a big day for his criminal court. Obviously, a lot of people touched upon what happened to OJ Simpson this week passing. So there's
Mm,
a lot of poignant cultural things in America
mm,
that has happened And everyone as an American can see that. And people on the global basis who come here can see that. You know, Americans are made out of everything. We talk about the 195 nations in the UN and talk about the peacemaking process that Americans try to be. And that's why I respect this country, because
Mm.
that's who they are. They
Mhm.
ensure, like the Hamases and the Ukraines and the what is literally happening in the world, and everybody does have a consequence to say to that, should be aware of.
And that is a little segue into answering the question. I've had people say, well, what's the review going to be about? What is this
Cool.
show on Fridays going to be about? And we got a little preview there. It's honestly, and I did the play on words of re-view, even though we're not
Yes.
the view, we're not trying to be the view, but the pre-paving of being able to talk about the news in a heart-centered way. So I
Mm.
Yes.
call it headlines to heartlines,
Yes.
because I've been very purposeful on this show. They said it wouldn't last a year because I'm not the political arguing rhetoric, angry, gossipy, putting people down. I've been very purposeful about
Amazing.
not doing that for 623 consecutive weeks. And so someone said, well, Angel is, she's the finance and political, and we just saw something on one of your outfits on Ricky that I'm a little bit concerned about, but I will, we've got to learn how to agree to disagree again. That's something that we've not done well with all of the political leanings. We don't know how to come together again despite our differences. And that's why I agreed. And I said to Angel, I said, as long as we don't turn out to be just like the other angry rhetoric,
No.
but it is important to talk about a variety of topics that aren't taught, right? Aren't
Yes.
addressed. Financial literacy is just amazing to me how kids don't know. So it's not surprising that young women are the leading, right, in debt population,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
those kinds of things with a focus on solution.
Yes.
So with
We
a
have-
focus on solution, I know I'm going to want to hear from Ricky what advice he gives to young aspiring musicians and dancers and entertainers or fashion designers. Angel's also an expert in that. Like all of these topics and more are
Right.
going to be on Fridays, so that solutions, you can hear something that you're going to go, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, that's something for me to mull over and to consider. So, and you're hearing the Long Beach Grand Prix pre-paving going on in the background. I apologize. I don't know if you can hear it. It's crazy. It's going to be crazy. I'm in Long Beach on the beach. So, but that is what this show is going to be about. And we look forward to having you in the chat, having you tune in now or later. If you're driving and tuned in right now on AM 1050, FM 106.5 on NBC News Radio, KCAA, number one talk, 25 years, the station that leaves no listener behind. Please don't give us the finger. Someone just gave us the finger, not that finger, but this finger. But when you do land, wherever you're going, pull us up on YouTube TV channel, Dr. Marissa Pay. If you use my Google Assistant and put in Asian Oprah, I'm everywhere. And you will get to, on Fridays, listen to the experience and the loving advice from Ricky Rebel, co-host that we are exploring today, and Ms. Angel Men Chang. So that's what we're doing. We have 10 minutes left, I believe. So, Ricky, this was your coming out on the show, out of the closet of non.
Not the first time.
No, okay.
Like a
I'm used to it by now.
Yeah.
For the very first time. So I actually met her by accident, or
Really?
accidentally, hashtag accidentally. And I was in Portofino, one of the most beautiful places in the world, Italian Riviera. And we were staying at the same hotel, and she was coming down the side of the hill and I was going up the side of the hill. And I didn't realize it was her until I like kind of almost passed her.
Yeah.
And then I went, oh.
Oh.
That's Madonna.
and she is incredible. She has been able to stay,
Mm.
right? She's a beautiful
Strong
example, right, of
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone who stays true to her
Yes.
brand
Yes.
and yet is flex enough to appeal to a broader
Every.
audience. So I want to know,
Yeah.
you have had the experience of working with Britney Spears, I don't know if Michael Jackson was alive when you were working with the label,
He
but
was.
Michael
He was.
Jackson, he was, okay,
Mhm.
and Madonna. What would you
Mhm.
say were your top lessons or things that you learned from each of these epic individuals that you will never forget?
Well, I can start with Madonna. I recently saw her show at the Forum, right? The celebration
Yes.
tour.
Yes.
It was mind blowing. It blew me away. It reinvigorated, re-inspired me beyond imagination. I think it was her best show I've ever seen, and I've seen all of her tours from starting from, I think, the Drowned World tour. From then on, I wanted to go see her in Blonde Ambition, but my mother wouldn't let me. I was too young to go see that. So Madonna's always been a provocative person. She has as much love as she's had in her life as far as support. She's also had a lot of haters. It's very split. Um, People have a lot of, for some reason, hatred for this woman, uh,
She's
fear about her.
successful.
She's successful, but she's also very pushy and bossy. She has a lot of things about her. I've read all of her biographies. She's not always the nicest person, but at the end of the day, Madonna is real, and that's what
Yes.
I've always respected about her. For better or worse, her political views have, she has said some stuff that have made people very angry, and she's done some things that have made people very angry, but she's always stood by what it is that she believes in her heart to do. And that's
Mhm.
something that I have tried my best to do in my life as well. Even if I have things that I want to say that, or do that people might disagree with, I've always gone with, well, this is where I'm at right now in my life. I might not be here, a year from now, which is pretty much what's happened in my life. I'm like, okay, I've changed that chapter. I moved on, but at the end of the day, this is who I am at this moment. And this is what I'm going to say. And this is the kind of music I want to make. Um, so that's what I've learned from Madonna. It's a big lesson, uh,
Beautiful.
to have the
And Brittany?
courage. Madonna's a very courageous person. Michael Jackson, I've learned about detail, attention to detail in the music. Um, he he would spend so long, years on tracks.
Wow.
He's a perfectionist
Yes.
beyond. Um, the attention to detail, he practiced constantly. I remember in Neverland Ranch, I was with him at Neverland, and I got to dance in front of him in the
So
dance
cool.
studio. And it's a really cool, room with his studio on the side. So what he would do is he would dance to his own music to kind of feel inspired by what he was doing. And if he wasn't feeling the music enough, he would change it. But he watched me dance, and I at the time I did a lot of jazz and ballet, so I was doing like triple pirouettes and like grand
Wow.
jetés and things like that. He's like, "Wow, that's really cool." I love
Wow.
that. And he said, "You've got a lot of nerve. You got a lot of nerve, Ricky." And what that means is just basically, it's that courage that we're talking about. I think
Yeah.
the heart and core of everything to be a great artist, I think it requires, or a great human being, in my opinion, it requires courage and vulnerability. The courage to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that's what is
chutzpah.
needed. Chutzpah,
Chutzpah.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
Chutzpah.
gotta
exactly.
just
Yeah,
go for it. You gotta go for it. You
yeah.
gotta not care so much about. I mean, where I'm at now is I am enough. That's my mantra. My mantra is
Beautiful.
like, I am enough. No
Yes,
more,
you
no
are.
more auditioning, no more
Yes.
trying. I mean,
Correct.
I'm just gonna deliver the gift of music, or deliver the gift, whatever it is I'm offering, and then
Mhm,
that's all I'm really responsible for. And how people
mhm.
take it is not really my
None of
responsibility.
your business.
Right. So that's what these people are these amazing musicians have taught me. Thank God we still have Madonna on the planet. Michael's gone. My other hero, Prince, is gone. David Bowie's
Mm.
gone. All of these amazing people, but hopefully we can continue that energy, bring it into the
Yes.
future, because the future, I think, needs more people to have the courage to speak their minds, but also have the love that you're talking about, Dr. Marissa, and the love of like, okay, differing points of views, being open to different perspectives, not being so rigid, things like
Right.
that, being malleable, being flexible. I think that's what
Mm.
we need in music, but also in the world. More of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Angel, final word?
I just am very excited to be in Las Vegas, as you see, and really excited to, have Dr. Marissa here and meet with Todd Fisher and the family, the icon. It's just a dream of mine growing up and being a hardcore Star Wars fan. And also, I do actually sell lightsabers at Comic Con as part of the Make a Wish and also part of the Lucasfilm charity. So I am also very, very, very fond of obviously ABC and Disney's franchise. And the last thing is just to announce a preview because Ricky, his love for and respect for Madonna and Michael Jackson, our next co-host, Eddie Barber, is a 7-time Oscar Emmy winner who actually produced Madonna's True Blue video and Michael Jackson's music video. So there we go.
Cool.
Yes, we're going to tie it all together thanks
Nice.
to the magic of Angel. I call her my Tasmanian angel. She keeps
I
me
love
on
it.
my toes.
That
And
tongue.
it's so delightful, Ricky. You're going to be an incredible addition to this this cast of characters and for my show. And I can't think of a better group to balance out, all of those things that usually are frenzy, angry, pushing that energy you talked about. I'm all about, choosing the best feeling thought, choosing the best feeling emotion to have to attract even more good. I know that you're on that path and I support you fully. And I am looking forward to our continued success for this special series on Fridays. All of you can tune in. To go to my YouTube TV channel if you want to watch and listen. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, all of those platforms also carry, but audio only. So I am asking, you can also free subscribe, or there's a couple of membership levels now if you want to get a little more action with me. Not that kind of action, although I am dating now. But if you want to enjoy some of my balanced marketplace things, then please do different levels of subscribe on YouTube TV. This is Dr. Marissa, perfect timing with the siren, reporting live from my living room. We've got Angel reporting live from Las Vegas. Ricky Rebel, my newest co-host here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show and the Friday series. The Review, reporting from his living room and knowing that all of you, it's all about peace, okay? Here we go,
Yeah.
Ricky. This is what I do to
There we
sign
go.
off every show. Peace
Yeah.
in, peace out. World
out.
peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best weekend ever. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
KCAA Loma Linda is sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Taylor. The Biden administration plans to forgive an additional $7.5 billion in student loan debt. Biden has so far canceled over $150 billion worth of debt for over 4 million people. Critics argue future taxpayers will essentially have to pay the bill. History is being made with Donald Trump becoming the first former president to stand trial in a criminal case. Jury selection in Trump's so-called hush money case will begin Monday in New York City. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. Caitlyn Jenner has some pointed words about the death of O.J. Simpson. She posted "good riddance" on Thursday morning after news broke that Simpson had died from cancer. Jenner has long believed Simpson was responsible for the murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman back in 1994. People in Las Vegas are trying to get their hands on Simpson memorabilia after his death. Michael Kastner reports.
Tyler Feldman, the CEO of Inscriptographs Memorabilia, tells KLAS-TV there were nonstop phone calls on Thursday shortly after the announcement of Simpson's death in Las Vegas from prostate cancer at the age of 76. Feldman also warns that merchandise scams are going to increase, as they often do, after any famous person dies.
Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter is expected to surrender to authorities after allegedly skimming $16 million from the athlete. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Ippei Mitsuhara stole the money to fund his voracious appetite for illegal sports betting. U.S. Attorney in Los Angeles, Martin Estrada, said Mitsuhara went to great lengths to steal the money.
We've obtained recordings of telephone calls in which Mitsuhara spoke with bank employees, lied to them about being Mr. Ohtani, gave personal biographical information for Mr. Ohtani in order to impersonate him.
Ohtani has been cleared by federal investigators of any wrongdoing. You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909-889-8377, extension 224.
It's a bird!
It's a plane!
No, it's Super Roth!
Okay, a gimmicky opening for a commercial about Super Roth Universal Life Insurance, but I'm sure it got your attention. Now, what is a Super Roth, you ask? It's a permanent indexed universal life insurance that's totally liquid and easily accessible once it matures. Can be used to supplement retirement savings or a death benefit, or both. Has no income or contribution limit. Has no 5-year rule like Roth IRAs. Has no 10% penalty for accessing the funds before age 59 and a half. Oh, and the average historical returns are 5 to 7% annually. Tax-free. Super Roths also lock in gains, which means you don't lose your money when the market is down. Sounds incredible, right? Sounds super? Super Roths are the way of the future, specifically your future. To see if you qualify for a Super Roth, go online to thesuperroth.com.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? Well, what would you do if you have a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's way too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times, addiction treatment is fully covered. So why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed to take time off by law, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call now, 800-398-7414. That's 800-398-7414.
You're listening to the Tahibo Tea Club radio show, hosted by Milan Vukovic, founder of the Tahibo Tea Club.
I'd like to tell you about another cancer case about a man from Chicago. In 2009, he was diagnosed with brain cancer, specifically lymphoma of the brain. They immediately started chemo and radiation treatments, but his cancer kept getting worse. The chemo and radiation were not working for him, and they were making him sicker by the day because they're not easy treatments. By January 2010, he was literally on his deathbed. A friend of his who had heard about the tea called us and said, go ahead and send the tea to him in Chicago, even though it's probably too late for our friend, but for $34.95, it's certainly worth a try. So we went ahead, sent the tea to him in Chicago. We didn't hear from anyone until about 5 months later. This lady from Texas called to order the tea. We asked her how she heard about the tea, and she said, you know, my husband and I are originally from Chicago, and about 5 months ago when we were back visiting, our good friend Nick was dying from brain cancer. He was in such bad shape that my husband and I looked at each other and thought he was going to pass away that week, so we might as well stay in Chicago so we don't have to come back again the next week for a funeral. Well, Nick got the tea about that time and started drinking it, and he started getting a little bit stronger. My husband and I went back to Texas, and now 5 months later, Nick is visiting us. He looks better than you or I, so whatever it is that he's drinking, we want to drink too. I want to tell you that Nick at that time was 60 years old, and once he beat the cancer, he was feeling so good he got bored staying at home, so he went back to work full-time, and he's been cancer-free and in good health now for over 8 years and still continues to work full-time. I want to shift gears now and talk about diabetes. Oftentimes I get the question, how long does it take for the tea to work? If the tea is going to help, it's going to work rather quickly. In my father's case, it eradicated the tumor in exactly 2 months. In Nick's case with the brain cancer, it was about 3 to 4 months. Now, with diabetes and with all of the conditions with the tea, there's a healing process that's involved. Now, with diabetes, it's very easy to tell that the tea is working. Let's say, for example, if a diabetic is taking on average 40 units of insulin daily. They continue to take their insulin and they start drinking a tea. Since they're measuring the blood sugar on a daily basis to know whether to take 35 units or 40 units or 45 units of insulin, which makes a big difference, they'll notice typically that in 2 weeks, instead of needing 40 units of insulin, they only need 30 units of insulin. In 4 weeks, they'll notice they only need 20 units of insulin. In 6 weeks, they'll only need 10 units of insulin. And in 2 months, they won't need insulin at all. So there's a healing process involved because the tea helps the body to heal itself. And with different conditions, there's different healing times that are involved. With infections, for example, a tooth infection, you can get rid of faster than you can with penicillin. You can get rid of a tooth infection in a week. And what happens with a tooth infection is you start drinking a tea. Well, let's say you have a tooth infection and your head is throbbing like in a cartoons, like a bomb that's about to explode. You take a drink of the tea, you hold it in your mouth for 2 minutes, the pain will immediately go away. You can't even get rid of the pain that quickly with a Vicodin. Now, if you stop drinking the tea at that point, you haven't knocked out enough bacteria, so the pain will come back in about 30 minutes. But you take another drink in about 30 minutes. If you take a drink of the tea, let's say 1 glass an hour for 4 hours, you'll completely get rid of the pain. But you haven't still knocked out all the bacteria, so if at that point you stop drinking the tea, the pain will come back in about 3 days. So you need to continuously drink the tea for 1 week in order to get rid of the pain. Kind of like when you go to a dentist and the dentist says, here's the penicillin, take 2 a day. Even though you're going to feel great in a day, you have to drink it for 10 days or so in order to completely knock out the bacteria. Same thing with the tea. You need to completely drink the tea until you knock out the bacteria, which typically in case of a tooth infection takes about a week to 10 days. In other infections, it takes a little bit longer. So, for example, with a bladder infection or a urinary tract infection, it's common to take about 2 weeks to completely get rid of the infection, but you get relief like within 24 hours so that you don't have the pain associated. Now, talking about urinary tract infections, there are folks that get chronic urinary tract infections. And what happens is they go to the doctor gives them antibiotics, they drink the antibiotics for 2 weeks, and the infection goes away. A month later, the infection comes back, they go back to the doctor, they get some more antibiotics, and in 2 weeks the pain goes away. And what happens is they keep cycling on and off the antibiotics, which obviously is not a good thing to do, on an ongoing regular basis. On the other hand, they could just drink the tea. The tea is great for them for a lot of other health benefits as well. In 2 weeks, they'll be rid of their urinary tract infection, and they won't get the infection back. Our tea has no contraindications with any foods, supplements, or medications. It's naturally caffeine-free. It can be drank in any quantity throughout the day by anyone over the age of 3. Since a baby's nutritional needs are unique, it's not recommended for babies or for women who are breastfeeding or pregnant. The tea has a number of natural benefits. Some of these include helping to control blood sugar, cleansing the blood of cholesterol, and controlling high blood pressure. If you're taking medications for any conditions, please keep taking your medication until your measurements are at a level where your doctor has told you to reduce the amount of medication. For example, if you're a diabetic, you should be taking your blood sugar level daily in order to know your correct dose of insulin. Now, besides people, the tea is also fantastic for animals. Everything from dogs to horses. One day we got a call from a customer who wanted to purchase the tea for the champion show dog who developed a skin disorder and for whom antibiotics had not worked. Exactly 3 weeks later, the customer called again to tell us the skin had completely cleared up and the dog was back at work as a model. I asked how they got the dog to drink the tea, and they said they simply replaced the water in his bowl with the tea. So it turns out that the dogs actually really like the tea.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Welcome
Welcome back to the Tejibo Tea Club radio show. Now, this next segment is a segment with live listener call-ins from previous shows, and you'll be hearing their questions, their successes, and their experiences with Tejibo tea. So please do give us a call and let us know how the tea works for you. Thank you.
Hello, Milan. My name is Lynn, and I have some questions for you about the best way to prepare the tea.
Even though we call our product tea, what we actually make when we prepare it properly is the decoction. And a decoction is just a fancy word for what our forefathers used to do when they used to take a root and cook it in order to release its beneficial properties. So it's really easy to make. It's kind of like cooking spaghetti. You take a pot of water, you bring it to a boil. Once the water's boiling, you toss in 1 tablespoon of tea for every 2 cups of boiling water. Cook it on high boil for 5 minutes, reduce the heat and simmer an additional 15 minutes. So your total cooking time is 20 minutes. Now, since our tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on, you can make a whole big batch, say 10 or 20 cups at one time. You can leave the tea in the pot on the stove. It'll stay good for 8 days without refrigeration. You can put the tea in the fridge. It'll stay good for, It'll stay good for 4 days without refrigeration. And you can put it in the fridge. It'll stay good for 8 days with refrigeration. And you can drink the tea hot, room temperature, cold or iced. So all you do is just make up a whole big batch of it and drink away. It has no caffeine, so you can literally drink it all day, all night. In my family, everybody from my 22-year-old son who just graduated from UCLA to my dad who's 89 years old drinks the tea all day, every day instead of water. I just drink water 3-4 times a week when I get tired of drinking the tea.
That's good. And so if a person, I want some for my friend who is the same thing. I think I've read your website, and I think he's dealing with PanCan, the evil. And I want to get him some. And that's how I originally heard about it, because unfortunately I just lost my stepmom to that same evil disease. They found it too late. Sad. But he's younger, and I really want him to drink this tea as much as possible to help him. And so I want to find out, like the things that you said, the best way to prepare it, how long does it keep? You already anticipated my second question. And how often do you drink it? Just replace water and drink that stuff all day long.
Especially if you're trying to get rid of something. Now, if somebody's a stewardess and they're floating around in an aluminum can breathing other people's germs and they're relatively healthy, they just need to drink the tea regularly, 2-3 glasses or more a day. However, anytime somebody's trying to get rid of something, whether it's infection or diabetes or cancer, they need to get rid of the disease before it gets rid of them. At that point, they need to drink the tea to get rid of the disease quickly, which is basically replace the water with it. And like I said, since it has no caffeine, that's pretty easy to do. The other thing is our tea has no contraindications. So our tea can be taken on an empty stomach, on a full stomach, with medicine, without medicine, with supplements, without supplements. And because there's no caffeine, it can be drank all day, all night. So all somebody has to do is just prepare a big batch of it and start drinking away.
Have you ever heard of anybody that had any kind of allergy to it?
Not really. In 12 years since I started at the Tejibo Tea Club, there were a couple of people that called in and they thought they had a reaction to it, but they really didn't. One lady called in from Northern California, and she says, I started drinking the tea, and I'm starting to get fever blisters. And I go, well, that's very strange, because the tea actually eliminates and eradicates fever blisters. So I asked her, is there anything else that she's doing different? Has she started taking any new vitamins, any new supplements, any new medications, this, that, whatever the case is? And she's going, no. Right. Okay, so then we're talking, and then she says to me, but I started chemotherapy treatments 3 days ago. I'm going, really? If your hair falls out, it's not the tea. So you need to really max out on the tea to eliminate and minimize the side effects of the chemotherapy. So So usually when somebody calls us and they think they have a reaction to the tea, it's invariably something else that they're doing, whether they're doing chemo or whether they're doing some other supplements or whatever the case is. I can tell you, when my son was 8 years old and playing all those Little League baseball games, football and all that, I used to cook up the tea for all the 8-year-olds, and nobody had a reaction to it. So, if 8-year-olds are not going to get a reaction to it, full-grown adults shouldn't be getting a reaction to it either.
Right, and sometimes I think that when you have a healing, in my experience, so if you're using healing plant, tea, it's from a plant, and it's actually giving you the good effect, like, for instance, a parasitic die-off will manifest in a way that makes you think you're having a reaction, but it's not to the tea. It's to the thing that the tea is helping, right?
Oh, you hit the nail right on the head. That's the very first thing that our tea does is gets rid of parasites. And most people don't feel enough cleanse going on, but because they're not severely enough affected by parasites. But you won't believe this. Once a year, we'll get a phone call where somebody will call in and go, "Oh my God, I'm passing worms that are 10 and 15 inches long when I go to the bathroom, and I can't believe that I was living with them inside me." And can you imagine the relief these people got after 2-3 days? I mean, just absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, that kind of thing. And maybe sometimes if you go through any kind of a detoxification process, it will sometimes give you a bit of flu-like symptoms. But I don't think you can blame the tea for that. You have to realize that that's the tea doing its job, right?
Yeah. Well, with the tea, you're not going to get flu-like symptoms, but you will have to eliminate the parasites some shape or form or other, either going to the bathroom or through the skin or something like that.
Right. Okay, well, thank you. That's really helpful. I appreciate knowing the cooking method, too. I'm sure it comes with directions, right? So
absolutely.
I was just thinking the best way to have it.
Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate the call. Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. Our immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to infection, diabetes, or cancer. Our tea has no contraindications with any food, supplement, or medications. It's naturally caffeine-free and can be drank in any quantity throughout the day by anyone over the age of 3.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com.
In my family, everyone from my 24-year-old son to my 90-year-old father drinks a tea all day, every day, instead of water. I just drink water 3 or 4 times a week when I get tired of drinking a tea. Taheebo tea naturally helps the body, the organs, and the immune system to heal themselves to be doing what they're supposed to be doing in the first place. Besides the beneficial properties that I already mentioned, since the tea works through the bloodstream, it helps fortify the blood for those who are anemic, while cleansing the blood of cholesterol, helping to control high blood pressure and blood sugar. Now, if you're currently taking medications for a condition, please continue taking them until your measurements are at a level where your doctors tell you to reduce the level of medication. For example, if you're a diabetic, you should be taking your blood sugar level daily in order to know your current dose of insulin, and you already know how to adjust it. Now, talking about diabetes, it's one of the easiest diseases that one can actually see your tea working on a daily, weekly basis because they're taking their blood sugar measurements on a daily basis. So let's say a diabetic is taking on average 40 units of insulin per day. They keep taking their insulin, and they'll be taking their blood sugar reading on a daily basis because some days they'll be taking 40 units, other days they'll be taking 30 units. Well, that's a big swing. Other days they'll be taking 50. That's like a 40% swing that they need to know about. So they keep taking their medication, they start drinking their tea, and in 2 to 3 weeks, they'll notice they only need 30 units of insulin on average per day instead of the 40. In 4 to 6 weeks, they'll notice they only need 20 units of insulin per day. And in 6 weeks or so, they'll notice they only need 10 units of insulin. And in 8 to 10 weeks, they'll notice they don't need to take insulin anymore. So even though the complete healing period is 2 to 3 months, a diabetic can see the healing right before their very eyes. Now, the reason it's important to continue taking insulin or any other medication that a person is on is because the tea is not a drug that is replacing the drug that a person is taking. The tea is literally healing the organs to do what they're supposed to do in the first place. And let's face it, none of us is getting any younger. In the case of type 2 diabetes, it's helping to heal the pancreas to produce and release its most important hormone, insulin. And that's what it's supposed to be doing. With a little bit of effort towards good nutrition, exercise, and our tea, you'll be able to get off of insulin and other diabetes drugs in 2 months. Not only that, many times diabetics are overweight, not because they're eating 5 times as much as everyone else, but because, of course, their organs are not processing blood sugar properly and metabolizing food properly. Now, during a 2-month healing period, a diabetic may only lose about 5 pounds. But after the organs are healed and processing blood sugar properly and metabolizing food properly, they'll start losing 10 to 15 pounds a month until they get close to their proper weight. One day, a man phoned me to tell me he was going to send me a picture of his wife. And I said, well, okay, but why? He says his wife was a diabetic, and she kept taking her medication and started drinking Taheebo tea. After 2 months, she was able to get off the medication, and during those 2 months, she had lost about 5 pounds. But after that, she started losing 15 pounds a month, and in 4 months, lost 60 pounds, and she went from 208 pounds to 148 pounds, and she looks and she feels fantastic. Well, no kidding. This next segment is live listener call-ins from previous shows. Listener, you're live on the air with Milan Vukovic. How can I help you?
Milan, it's a pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, my question is, I have a friend that's a coworker and having some kidney issues. He's going to the doctor, and they're giving him different medicines to try to regenerate the function of his kidneys. He had some cancer stuff and was on chemo, but I think he's off all that now, and they're just working on getting his kidneys to try to working again. And he carries this big bottle of water around, like a gallon, and drinking water all the time. And I was talking to him about the tea, and I was just wondering if you think it would help regenerate the function of his kidneys.
It very well may, and if he carries a gallon of the tea around and drinks that instead of the water, he'll see if he's going to get the benefits that we've had customers get. So the first time that we had somebody regenerate kidney function was about 7 years ago. This woman in New Jersey had the HIV virus, and as a result, her kidney function went down to 20%. And in 4 months of drinking the tea, not only did she get rid of the HIV virus, but her kidney function regenerated back up to 100%. And what was really, truly remarkable. Since then, we probably get one kidney regeneration case once every 2-3 months. Right now, we've got a lady that we're keeping track of, or that's helping us keep track of her. She's calling in to let us know how she's progressing. Her kidney function was down to 15%, and in 2 weeks of drinking the tea went up to 25%, and we're waiting to see what happens next. You see, because what the tea does is, by building the red corpuscles in the cell, it sends oxygen to the organs and cells, and the organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. And so we're talking about all of the organs, everything from the pancreas to the liver to the kidneys to even the sexual organs. I mean, sometimes I get very funny phone calls from retired people. This one retired professor, 75 years old, calls me up and he says, "My wife loves you." And I go, "Really? Why?" "Oh," he says, "our romance is so fantastic. Go ahead and send me 8 pounds this
Tea
time."
Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com.
You're listening to the Taheebo Tea Club radio show, hosted by Milan Vukovic, founder of the Taheebo Tea Club.
Before I started drinking your tea, I used to lose a lot of hair when I was brushing my hair and when I was showering. Since I started drinking your tea, I hardly lose any hair at all. And not only that, my fingernails are strong like concrete. I'd like to shift gears again, if I can, and talk a little bit more about infections. A man went to visit a dentist for a tooth infection. The dentist gave him a prescription for penicillin to knock the bacteria out and a prescription for Vicodin to kill the pain. He sped over to the drugstore, picked up the prescriptions, and couldn't wait to get home to take the pills since his head was throbbing as if it was going to explode. On his way home, he called a friend from his car and was explaining to him what a world of hurt he was in. The friend told him to swing by his place and he'd get rid of the pain in exactly 2 minutes. He was told that not even the Vicodin would kick in that fast, and that he really wanted to get home to get rid of the pain as soon as possible and take the Vicodin and the penicillin. Well, the friend said, "You've already picked up the pills from the pharmacy, so you've got them with you. If the Taheebo tea I'm going to give you doesn't work, then start popping the pills." He went over to his friend's house. His friends had him take a drink of the tea and told him to hold it in his mouth over the tooth that was infected for a couple of minutes before swallowing. The pain went away. He explained to his friend, though, that until enough bacteria was knocked out, which requires drinking 5 or 6 glasses of tea in the span of 3 or 4 hours, that the pain would come back in about 30 minutes. But since he's drinking a tea during this time anyway, to simply take a drink of the tea and hold it in his mouth again for 2 minutes before swallowing, and the pain will go away. Unbelievably, this is exactly what happened.
Want to learn more? Check out our podcast only on the iHeartRadio app. The Taheebo Tea Club radio show is now available on demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just open up your iHeartRadio app and search Taheebo, Taheebo, and start streaming today. Our podcast will let you listen to people throughout the country who have shared their real-life stories on the successful results they've had using Taheebo Tea. The Taheebo Tea Club radio show, now available as a podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
And so included with every order, we automatically include literature about the tea because typically folks will primarily buy the tea for one primary reason, whether it's cancer or whether it's diabetes or whether it's an infection or whatever the case is. And then oftentimes they'll call back and say, this is really truly unbelievable. This also helped me with my rheumatoid arthritis or something of that nature or something different. One time I got a phone call from a man in Florida who was a customer of ours, and he says, Milan, there's something you didn't tell me about the tea. And I go, really? What's that? So, well, he says, I'm an older man. I have toenail fungus. My toenail fungus is completely gone. My toes are now the only beautiful thing in my body. And I go, well, of course, the tea naturally has antifungal properties. It comes from the only tree in the world that fungus doesn't grow on. And he says, well, that's fantastic. And I said, well, yeah, because, I mean, the only thing we talked about when you called in was with regards to your lung cancer. And as it happened, the man had lung cancer for 18 years, and he was receiving a radiofrequency ablation for his lung cancer. And when he first drank, and after 18 years, he says, the ablation works. He says, you can smell your own flesh burning. He says, literally. He says, and after 18 years, there's nothing left on my lungs to burn out, he says. So he says, I don't really believe in things like your tea, he says, but it doesn't cost very much, so go ahead and send me the tea. So we did. And he called back about 3 weeks later, and he says, if somebody would have told me that a $35 bag of tea would get rid of my pain in 5 days, I'd have said you're crazy, because I was taking 10 narcotic pills daily to mitigate the pain, and I never really did. And after 5 days, my pain went away, and I was telling my friends that this is unbelievable. I'm drinking this tea, and the pain associated with my cancer is gone. And my friend said, oh, man, it's got to be in your head. He says, that's why I waited 3 weeks to give you a call back. It's not in my head. The pain's gone. If you'd like more information about Taheebo Tea or you'd like to talk to us, just give us a call. We're located in Los Angeles. Our office hours are 9 to 5 California time, Monday through Saturday. Our telephone number is 818-610-8088. And, of course, you can also get a lot more information on our website, www.TaheeboTeaClub.com, and the only tricky thing is to spell Taheebo, which is spelled T-A-H-E-E-B-O, and then continue with the word T-T-E-A, clubclub.com. So the complete website is www.TaheeboTeaClub.com, and you'll get more information there. And, of course, we welcome you to give us a call because, as you can tell, we learned a lot about our own products from customers calling us in with regards to their dogs, with regards to toenail fungus, with regards to diabetes, and with regards to all type of different cancer cases. Cancer cells work in an anaerobic environment or live in an anaerobic environment, which means they live in the absence of oxygen and they get their energy from sugar instead of from oxygen like healthy cells do. But specifically now, I'd like to devote our attention to prostate cancer because 80% of men are going to contract prostate cancer by the time they turn 80 years old. And from the cancer cases that we have, of course, because so many men get prostate cancer, we have more successful prostate cancer cases than any other cases just because they're the most prevalent. I'd like to tell you about a couple of those cases. I got a phone call a couple of weeks ago from a man in Phoenix, and he says to me, I don't know if you remember speaking to me 4 months ago or not, he says, but I had prostate cancer that was aggressively metastasizing through my whole body, my bones, everywhere. And you told me to drink at least 8 glasses of Tahibo tea a day or more, as much as I could humanly stand.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with Milan and more from the Tahibo Tea Club radio show in just a minute.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
So I literally took that to heart, and I was drinking a gallon a day, which is 16 cups or more, he says. I was drinking so much of your tea that sometimes I was drinking a tea and having to go pee at the same time. But I'll tell you what, in 4 months, I don't have any more cancer. Now, in the informational literature that we automatically include with every order, it says, please give us a call to tell us about your case so that we can help more people. Well, one day I got a call from a man in Beaumont, Texas. And he says to me, he says, I've been a customer of yours, he says, for 5 years now, he says, and in your booklets it says to give you a call to tell you about your case, so I'm calling to give you an update. I go, fantastic, please tell me. He says, 5 years ago I had prostate cancer and my PSA level was 1200. So now I'm thinking, I don't understand this man's Southern Texas accent from Beaumont, Texas. So I say to him, you mean 120? Because we'd never had anybody previous to that had more than 550. He says, no, 1,200. My PSA level was so high, they didn't want to give me any treatment. And he says, they're going to give you treatment. He says, whether it's going to work or not, just to collect on the money. So I had no other choices, and I started drinking your tea. And not only am I still alive 5 years later, my PSA level is now 1.25. So last October, a man from Saskatchewan, Canada calls up, and he says to me he's got prostate cancer. So I'm telling him about the Beaumont prostate cancer case, the 1200 case, and he says, that's nothing. He says, my prostate PSA level is 2100. I said, oh, my God, you have to promise to call me back. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and write down your name and number on a yellow sticky and stick it on my computer. If I don't hear back from you, I'm going to call you myself to find out what happened. Well, a month or so ago, we got an email from him, and he says, I started drinking your tea in October, and I'm getting my PSA checked every 2 months, and at the 2-month mark, my PSA level dropped from 2100 to 100. At the 4-month mark, my PSA level dropped from 100 to 10. And now, at the 6-month mark, my PSA level is 1.75. So it's truly gratifying to hear from customers on an ongoing basis, and very humbling because all we do is harvest the original tea. We don't put any fillers in it, and it's just as God had meant the plant to be. Now, the only secret to success with our tea, and the great thing is it tastes great, is volume of consumption. So you want to make certain that if you are fighting a potentially life-threatening disease, it's a race. You need to beat it before it beats you. So you want to be drinking the tea like water, or instead of water, 8 glasses a day or more, which is easy to do since it has a really mild, pleasant flavor. You can take it on an empty stomach, a full stomach, with medication, without medication, and it doesn't have any caffeine, so you can drink it all day, all night.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
I'd also like to talk a little bit about my least favorite cases that I hear about, and also my favorite cases that I hear about. Now, my least favorite cases that I hear about are people that previously had cancer of some type 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they were told that they're all clear from cancer, and now, 4 or 5 years later, the cancer has returned. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if they just knew about the tea and they drank the tea, there's a good possibility the cancer would not have come back. Now, when a person has gone through the treatments, they're all really harsh. Surgery's not easy, radiation's not easy, and chemotherapy's not easy. And they've exhausted all those treatments and gotten a clean bill of health. Well, what it means when they say that you're all clear from cancer is they just don't see cancer cells. Now, because all of us have cancer cells in us, it's just that our body and our immune system can keep those cancer cells at check. So obviously somebody who has had cancer before, has a much more likelihood that the cancer will come back than somebody who's never had cancer before. So I emphasize to everybody that drinks our tea, once you do get a clean bill of health, whether with our tea or without our tea, please continue drinking our tea after, because you don't want to have to go through radiation, chemotherapy, or surgery again. Now, my favorite cases are when I get calls from customers who have been diagnosed with cancer, and they start drinking the tea right away as soon as they're diagnosed. And oftentimes it takes conventional medicine 2-3 months to get around to starting treatment, either because they need to get insurance approval from the insurance company, or they need to decide which form of treatment they're going to take, whether they'll do surgery first or they'll do chemotherapy first, or whatever the case is. In the meantime, the customer has ordered the tea and has started drinking it. And 2.5 months later, when they get around to doing something, there's no cancer anymore. I just got a phone call the other day from a lady in North Carolina, and she says, my husband got diagnosed with lung cancer 2.5 months ago. And we heard about your tea, and we ordered the tea right away, and he started drinking it immediately. And 2 days ago, he was scheduled for a biopsy. So I called my sister and asked her to come over and go with me to the hospital, because it's a day procedure, the biopsy is, and that way she could wait with me and keep me company while we waited for my husband. So we went ahead and checked my husband into the hospital, and we found out where the cafeteria was. was and where to get some water, and got comfortable in the waiting room. And no sooner had we got comfortable in the waiting room than the nurse came out and she says, "Oh my God, there's nothing to biopsy." So those are my favorite cases, and we get those cases all along. So it doesn't matter whether you start drinking a tea before you start therapy or during therapy, or people go through all of the therapies, and at some point the doctors will say, "Hey, listen, you have 6 weeks to live." And at that point, if a person starts drinking a tea and they're not doing anything different, obviously the tea might be helping them.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Welcome back to the Tahibo Tea Club radio show. Now, this next segment is a segment with live listener call-ins from previous shows, and you'll be hearing their questions, their successes, and their experiences with Tahibo tea. So please do give us a call and let us know how the tea works for you. Thank you.
Yeah, I got that COVID in the last couple weeks of October. And I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. I didn't know whether I was going to get out of there or not. But when I was in there, I found out I had sugar diabetes, and my sugar levels was running from about 200 to 400.
Oh my
now
God.
I'm wondering if I get to drinking this Tahibo, will I need to get my sugar level checked, or just be reassured that the Tahibo will take care of my sugar diabetes?
Well, the best way to do it is to check your own sugar levels, because you want to see that the tea is working, which the tea works invariably on virtually everybody with sugar in over 90% of the cases. And but the way you're going to, and with sugar, fortunately, you can test your own sugar, so it's really easy to do that. So, are you taking any medications currently for your sugar?
No.
Okay. All right. So you're going to get a true report then. Your blood sugar ranges from about 200 to 400, which of course is very high. Now, the complete healing period for diabetes is 2 to 3 months. But a diabetic, because they can measure their blood sugar level anytime that they want, can actually see the tea working before their very eyes on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Now, since you're not on any other medications for diabetes, you don't necessarily have to take your blood sugar daily, but you'd want to take it once or twice a week. And here's what you should expect to see happen.